Hey and salam my friends from Turkey, salam alaikum. Hey, Geography Now Turkey. The first part was on the channel already, that's 1 or 2 weeks ago. Now we're going on the second part. I feel like the schedule's going bigger and bigger, but I try to fit something in. So for Turkey, this is the next reaction. You're gonna see the second part for this after the intro.
Zwischen Klimakrise und Hungersnöten, in der einige mit ihren Klunkern frönen, sind wir gesegnet und schaffen in bunten Tönen unsere Lieder und berichten von dem Ungeschönten.
So, I stopped the video at a not so good time. I thought they were finished with this point, but we have to finish this quick video. It was about Turkish tea and coffee, and now they're explaining right now how Turkish coffee is working. Like,
you heat up the pot in a heated sand pit, so the coffee is actually baked, not boiled.
Also, I learned this the first time I met Ege. After you finish drinking your coffee, you can tell your fortune. They like lift it upside down and then they look at the coffee grinds and you like come up with a fortune.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I think most Turkish people don't do that. I guess that's maybe more a tourist thing. That's what I think. So if you're a tourist in Turkey, that's something special. I think that's how I understand it. Like, you get a fortune from your coffee type of stuff. You know?
There's even an app for that, I think.
Like, they check the coffee grinds?
Yeah, I think so. You can like scan it.
Yeah, that's the other thing I noticed. Turkish people have a lot of superstitions and rituals that they kind of live by.
Yeah, that's a
rituals.
Whole another story. We'll talk more about that in the next segment.
Now, demographics is the next point. So I try to get through this quite fast because the reaction will probably be half an hour, like at least, so I'm pretty sure.
So, what is a Turk? This is not a simple question to answer, especially since Turkey has gone through so much change in the past several millennia.
Yeah, I've seen like the kingdom of Persia was at times like part of Turkey. I've seen a video about that, but that's long ago.
First, we need to make the quick distinction between the terms Turk and Turkic.
Oh, that's interesting. I want to know
Turk
that.
or Turkish are used interchangeably to refer to someone from Turkey.
Turkic.
Turkic refers to the Turkic ethnic group, a family broken.
That's an ethnic group that is spread throughout all Asia, it seems, right?
Broken down into 6 main branches that extend all the way from Turkey to Siberia.
This means, yes, Turkish people are distant cousins of people like Siberians, Kazakhs, Uyghurs, Uzbeks, Tatars, and so on.
Kazakhs. I got a friend from Kazakh. It's interesting.
Ethnographers speculate that they are even intertwined with Uralic and Ugric people groups.
Wait, so even we're related to them?
By weird, technical, long-distance default, kind of, yes.
And even Viktor Orban.
I mean, that are small details that are really interesting. So, like the people in Scandinavia are somewhat related to Turkic people. I say it right now, right? So that's the ethnicity.
Says that they're related to the Turks.
So there's something going on. That being said, many Turks in Turkey today are probably a genetic admixture of who knows what from anywhere and everywhere that got in contact with the Anatolian Peninsula over the past 2 millennia.
You can find everything from blonde-haired, blue-eyed Turks to, yes, even a small community of Afro-Turks.
That's really interesting because I said in a reaction to Shanisha, why is he blonde and got blue hair? And people all replied, man, that's completely normal in Turkey. We have like, not everybody got black hair and type of stuff and black eyes, brown eyes. No, that's actually like you have they have blonde hair, blue eyes, they're Afro-Turks. There's a lot of things happening, man.
In any case, if you want an actual visual of how the country breaks down ethnically, here's the demographics graph.
First of all, the country has a population of about 85 million people, and
that's more than Germany has. And now we're going on the different ethnicities. Am I right? I think Kurds are coming up now.
Is host to the largest refugee population on Earth.
Oh, yeah, of course, because this country where it is. Like, this is the connection from Africa and Asia to Europe. This is the hot spot, basically, for refugees.
Things get a little complicated because Turkey doesn't really have super reliable data on ethnic statistics of their country, and the term Turk is defined by the constitution as anyone that is bound to the Turkish state through citizenship, which means any citizen is considered Turk regardless of ethnic background. It is also,
I mean, this is actually, that is kind of cool because you don't make like the difference between where you're from. Maybe that's not that important. You're just a Turk because you live in a Turkey. That's like Turkish people living in Germany. You will say, no, I'm German. I'm German because I'm living in Germany, right? And I get the point.
Also known that there are about 50 non-Turkish ethnic groups represented in the country. Nonetheless, independent sociologists have speculated that somewhere around 70 to 80% of the country would most likely identify as ethnic Turks to whatever degree that may be. From there, the largest minority group are Kurds, estimated to
Kurds, yeah. Yes.
Anywhere from 12 up to 20-ish, maybe percent of the country. From there, the remainder of the population are other ethnic groups, mostly Arabs, Armenians, Greeks, Assyrians, Circassians, Bosniaks, Roma, and
so many Greeks, I get that. Arabs, I get that as well. Bosniaks, yeah, everything that's basically in the region, right? Assyrians, it is from Syria. Guessing Armenians, yeah, all the countries around Turkey, right? Basically.
And so on.
We use the Turkish lira as our currency, we use the type C and F plug outlets, and we drive on the
I really wonder why they're always saying in this reaction what the plug they use for electricity.
right side of the road.
Speaking of driving, I learned that pretty much everybody outside of Istanbul hates the license plate number 34.
Yes, we do.
Every province has a number, and 34 is Istanbul.
Why do they hate Istanbul plate?
And mine is 39.
You have it on your chest.
Well, why do you hate 34?
Yes.
39.
And people usually keep crowbars in
Where
their...
you got a tattoo from the province he's from? Alright. Okay.
cars in any case of a fight.
In case of a fight breaks out, you guys have weapons in your cars.
Yes.
Language-wise, obviously Turkish is the official language. It is written in the Latin script. It was actually adopted in 1928, replacing a modified Arabic script prior to that.
Our ancestors...
Yeah, and there are a couple of additional, how is it, letters. Like, you got this, you can see it on screen, like the S and the C with the a little mark below it, and you got a G with a something on top. That's interesting. All right, this Ü and Ö we got in Germany as well. That's interesting.
Actually used our own versions of the old Göktürk and Uyghur alphabet, which had these cool jagged blade-shaped letters that would later inspire the old Hungarian alphabet.
Man, I guess we do have some weird connection to you guys, huh?
Now going
Hungarian.
back to the people of Turkey, as we mentioned, Turkey is also pretty diverse.
As mentioned, the Kurds are the largest minority, mostly concentrated in the southeastern provinces bordering Iraq and Syria.
We already
yeah, I think in the countries in the east there are living Kurds in the other countries around that as well. So, and now we're going on the controversy with Kurds. That is interesting because I've often heard there's a controversy going on, but I never really understood what the point of this is. So this is really interesting for me.
We did a video explaining about the Kurds and who they are, but basically they are a stateless Iranic group of people related.
Iranic? What is meant by, is that a reference to Iran, or is Iranic something different?
Mostly concentrated in the southeastern provinces bordering Iraq and Syria.
We already did a video explaining about the Kurds and who they are, but basically they are a stateless Iranic group of people related to the Persians and Pashtuns.
To the Persians and Pashtuns. Alright, I mean, I wouldn't have gone, I didn't need to go back because he explained it. The other video he mentioned about the Kurds, that is interesting as well. I need to keep that in mind.
They speak their own language, completely unrelated to Turkish, and they are spread across 4 countries in the Middle East, mostly in Turkey though.
Yeah, 4 countries in the Middle East.
And since we're already on the topic, let's just get it over with and rip off the Armenia band-aid thing. Okay, I'm just
So, no, the connection to Armenia is talking
gonna say this. During the transition years of becoming a republic, there were lots of fighting, and the Armenians, being assisted by Russians, was heavily involved. Since then, Armenia has requested the Turkish government acknowledge the incident as a genocide, whereas Turkey's government, to some extent, will acknowledge that tragedies have occurred. However, the narrative is more nuanced, and they would not use the word genocide. This is the basic foundation of the argument.
So there was a war between Turkey and Armenia? Is that correct? Did I understand that right? And what about genocide? Deportation law? I don't know anything about this. What happened there, man?
Yeah, in Turkish schools, the incident is taught as tehcir, which is a displacement, and some Ottoman officials who abused their power and mistreated the displaced Armenians were hanged. But keep in mind, this is the official Turkish government story, so make up your own mind.
Make up your mind. This is what the Turkish government says.
And I have to do my own research, man. Man, they have to be politically correct always, right?
Talk about it in the
Ding,
comments.
ding,
Ding,
ding.
ding, ding. For what it's worth, though, on a mundane personal level, Turks often can just befriend people like Armenians, Kurds, and Greeks. It's not like they're like, oh, when they meet each other. It's like they can interact with each other.
Yeah, I just made a Greek friend like 2 days ago.
We have that footage. Mike was really cool. Mike,
We
miss
were
you, man.
really, you know, hitting it off.
You were vibing, man.
Yeah,
Like,
a
you
lot
guys-
of things are in
But this ain't actually cool. I mean, if you're just normal citizen, just make friends with everyone. Like, don't care about what politics were in the past or whatever, man. If you would take that from me as a German, you would say I'm a Nazi and I'm supporting Hitler if you go on political history, right? So, of course, be friend with the Armenian and Greek if you're Turk. Why not?
common.
You use like the same words. You like
Yeah.
have the same everything. Like
Yeah, we're basically from Thrace, both of us.
Thracian people. It's like one people. It's crazy.
And another thing, being close to conflict zones, Turkey has become the largest refugee host in the world with about 4 million, including nearly 65% of the entire world's registered Syrian refugees.
Holy cow. They were really, look, you can look at Turkey however you want, but they taken all these refugees. I mean, you have European countries talking about, oh, we're doing all the work, man. And Turkey taking on 4 million Syrian refugees. I mean, yeah, I want just to say, man. Now, when Ukraine is happening, European countries say, oh, we're here. What was with Syria? Did the European countries do anything? I don't know.
Supposedly the number is up for debate because a lot of people also just cross over and they don't register. So
It's 100% higher than that.
well, with that, let's talk
Oh,
about
it's
another
higher.
part of Turkey's identity, religion. Although secular by constitution, according to the government's old registration system, about 98% of the country claims to be Muslim to whatever degree of actual devotion.
So yeah, I knew about the Muslim, that Turkey is Muslim, but I don't know how like the young people are on about this, and I think it's not that strict in Turkey, right? Like in other countries. I know there are some countries that are very strict with the Islamic laws.
Majority at about 75%
Sunni.
being Sunni affiliated with the Hanafi school of jurisprudence.
Well, in the past, people were supposed to have a registration for their religion, and if they had just one Muslim parent, they would be automatically registered as Muslim. The data is probably a little bit skewed. For what it's worth, historically, before Ottoman times, the lands Turkey died in used to be very Christian.
Like literally half of all the cities in the New Testament of the Bible
So in the past it was Christian? Oi.
that the Apostle Paul visited refer to current renamed cities of Turkey like Ephesus, Tarsus, Lycia. Even the ecumenical patriarch of the Eastern Orthodox Church is located in Istanbul.
It's interesting though, because despite the Islamic undertones, Turkey and often their Turkic cousins can be very superstitious and fall into practices like fortune telling and astrology.
It's
even.
huge out here.
Yeah.
So like
Fortune telling and astrology, but is this is not a Christian thing. I think this is more like how's it called, like something that is out of the thinking like there's just one God. I think that's how I would put it.
technically it's considered haram, but like
Yeah,
you guys
haram,
still-
haram. That was the word, right? I was thinking this would be haram in Islam.
do it.
And that's the thing you'll notice in Turkey, there's always kind of like a dichotomy or fusion between the Islamic side and the Turkic side of people's identity.
And that's the other thing too, like a lot of times people kind of conflate you guys with Arabs because Islam usually gets tied in with Arabism so much. But
Yeah,
it's
we're like the least Arabized Muslim majority country.
But
like,
to be honest, like Islam is not like just referred to Arabs. That's like basically not true. We're talking about like whole Asia, like whole South Asia, like not about India, but Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, all these huge Islamic countries. They're not Arabs, right? So
people don't seem to understand that.
Yeah, and one thing they've upheld for thousands of years are their recreational activities. With that, here's Art with the sports part.
I had to write something.
All right, guys, Turkey and sports. But first, guess what? Tarçın's name is actually Turkish, and it means cinnamon. That's all we need you for,
cute.
buddy. So, he didn't die, don't worry. First off, they have lots of native sports. Every year on the West Coast, they have the Seljuk Camel Wrestling Festival.
What?
In which male
camel wrestling? What the heck's that? Okay, I don't like it. I like animals too much for them to be wrestling for people. I don't know.
Camels would naturally fight each other for mates. So they
Oh,
decided to
it's Nashville. Okay, then I didn't say anything.
make it a sport. That's what they fight for, mating. They're heavily monitored by referees and are muzzled so they don't bite each other. Another sport, Jidit, a horseback javelin throwing sport. So here's a clip from the movie Beyaz Melik showing how it's done in a safe and cinematically choreographed manner. And finally, you've probably heard of this one, Turkish oil wrestling. This is most famous in the Thrace region, done on a grass field wearing heavy water buffalo pants. You have to either expose your opponent's belly upwards, make them fall to the side, or carry them for a few steps. They're covered in olive oil to make grappling difficult, meaning wrestlers of different weights can wrestle fairly using speed and technique while also repelling mosquitoes.
Why'd you say that as a question?
Because why are mosquitoes?
Okay, what sports? What sports? I don't know, football, man. Oil wrestling? Holy heck. Where have I been all the time?
Mosquitoes important, right?
But we're saying what the olive oil is for.
It's to repel mosquitoes.
It can be that too.
Take out the mosquitoes, bro.
Shut up, Art, just say it.
Otherwise, Turks have done pretty well.
I have another question. Is olive oil really helping against mosquitoes? Because they're making fun of that. I didn't know that. I mean, oil is expensive. You probably shouldn't do that, right?
And many other contemporary sports. They've gathered over 100 medals in the Olympics since debuting in 1908. Their strongest event being wrestling, with a total of 29 golds as of 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Turkey's...
Oh boy! Wrestling is the #1 sport for Olympics. That's cool, man. I like it.
Women's volleyball teams have won numerous European championship titles and medals.
Volleyball.
And of course, Turks will tell you so much about their accomplishments in soccer or football. These three teams are the most attention-grabbing...
So he's in Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, and the other one I don't know, Besiktas. I know the two. And I always see, like, I mean, we have a lot of Turkish restaurants right here, and basically every single of these restaurants having a TV, and always there's football playing when I'm there. Anyway, that's true. It's just true, man.
Clubs in the entire country. When there is a derby between them, the fans go crazy. People get violent and police have to be present to stop the fans from stabbing each other. Otherwise, they were
From stabbing each other? Okay, please stay calm. You're exaggerating right here, don't you?
pumped when they reached third place in the 2002 World Cup. And this guy, Hassan Sakur, holds the record for fastest goal in the World Cup. I mean, there's so much to discuss about Turkish football.
So many interesting things. I know there are a lot of, what I mean is a lot of, I'm not so involved in football, but I guess at least a couple of players for the German football team are originally from Turkey, or have Turkish names, or are related to Turkish people or whatever, right? So yeah.
But you know, I'm gonna let you guys hash it out in the comments. You guys can call each other little bitches and you can verbally assault each other. All right, guys, that's all I got for you for the Turkey episode. If you guys are interested in getting some cosmetic work done, you can visit us at beautymill.travel in Turkey. Yeah.
That was the lamest, like, most tame exit you've ever had, Art.
Screw you, Paul.
Oh, yeah, well,
I mean, these days, look, I don't even think it's funny because I hate product placements. I never made a product placement yet because I didn't get a request for it, but, you know, I hate product placements. Even if I get a request. I don't know how much they pay. They should always put product placements in the video, but it should be a lot because it destroys the vibe of the video. I don't know.
Travel in Turkey, yeah.
that was the lamest, like, most tame exit you've ever had, Art.
Screw you, Paul.
Oh, yeah, well... Oh, thank you, Art. Have people died at these soccer fights?
I don't think many. Might have.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's possible.
Don't quote me on that.
And that's another thing about your culture. And to talk a little bit more about that, here's Random Hannah. And I'm not even sure if she can do this segment, but let's find out.
Random Hannah. So, another person coming in explaining about Turkey.
She's in Alabama doing Alabama stuff, so...
Wait, that's not Hannah.
We got Hannah too, her stunt double.
No, it's just me, Gabriel, Gabs. Barbs is really pulling me into this episode, really getting all he can out of me. So, Turkish culture, what is it exactly? Turks are obsessed with hygiene. You're often gonna find them with handkerchiefs or...
Hygiene? Handkerchiefs? What is the thing on the right? Are that handkerchiefs as well?
Mendel. And every Turk has a bottle of colonia. It's like a perfume that they pour on
Sanitizer? Perfume?
their hands to cool down, or if they're just generally stressed. It actually doesn't even originate in Turkey. It comes from Germany. When greeting elders, what they'll do...
But I want to say real quick, that's not a bad thing to care about hygiene. Like, I don't know about smells and kind of stuff if you got perfume, but the hygiene thing is that's good.
They'll grab the hand and they'll kind of kiss it, and then they'll put it on the forehead. And then when men greet each other, they shake hands. A boosh. A little concussion there and a little concussion there. Oh, they also do this.
I mean, I have seen that a lot of times, but to be honest, to kiss on someone's head is not, that's not good for hygiene. I just want to say that.
Side hug thing, more my style. Boom to the left, boom to the right. There are a lot of superstitions in Turkey. The most famous one that everybody knows of is Nazar, the evil eye.
Superstitions?
The concept, it exists in other countries, but it is huge in Turkey. It's basically the idea of getting bad luck because someone else is jealous of you. This is why...
What? What?
You're going to see the Nazar porcelain glass amulet. It's everywhere in Turkey. Sometimes people will take it, they'll put it on things that people will get jealous of, or they'll even put it on people too. Anything. You know what? The rituals are just too crazy for me to explain. Here's some of the subscribers who could do a much better job than me.
I'm confused. I think what is the belief? When someone's jealous from you, you get bad luck?
So, we Turks have a lot of quirks.
Turks do this thing where they grab their earlobe, make a kiss sound, and knock the wood.
It is believed that...
I know the knock in the wood thing. But this is actually where, like, I learned that from my family. When you say something that you're happy it didn't happen to you, and you say, I'm happy that didn't happen to you, and you make like, so it won't happen to you in the future. That's where I know it from.
Eating of the right hand means getting unexpected money from somewhere.
Cutting your nails at night are seen as things which would attract bad luck.
Don't lend a sharp object to people. Either spit on it, or else you could be in a fight.
Don't eat in a bath.
But that one I understand. Don't point a sharp object on someone else. That's good. That's just from human sense. That's sensible. Like from... Hey man, eating in the bathroom or bed? Who is eating in the bathroom? Holy heck.
Room or bed, or you will get haunted. I was scared for this when I was a kid.
You should enter the house and use household with your right foot.
If someone is taking a long trip with their car, people generally pour water behind them.
If you buy a new pair of shoes, you should let the first person who notices them step on them.
Turks have this gesture they do when they...
I mean, some of them I understand. Like, this is like a bad sign. You got new shoes, someone stepping on them? Like, I would be angry. I would think this person should have bad luck. You know what I mean? I understand the thought behind this.
They get scared. They bite their thumb and push it up.
Slippers cannot be upside down at all.
When you drop bread on the floor, you have to kiss it and put it on your forehead 3 times.
Don't have too much fun.
Hey, that one is cool. That one is cool with the bread. Yeah, hey man, that's not, you don't drop food on the ground and throw it in the trash bin. No. You appreciate the food. That's a good one.
Don't laugh too much or something bad could happen.
I especially like that one.
Don't laugh too much? I don't understand.
Otherwise, Turkey has a world-renowned entertainment industry. Even people in Brazil love Turkish drama. Probably the most famous drama abroad being this one, which translates to, what is Fatma Gul's wrongdoing? What'd you do, Fatma Gul? I want to know. Also, Turkish movies are really popular as well. However, Turkish
movies, yes sir, yes sir. Turkish movies, dramas, right? So they're famous. Sometimes in Turkish restaurants you see Turkish music played on the TVs as well. I said there's always football, but I was thinking about the music. Maybe they're coming to this point.
So specific that it's almost impossible to translate the inside joke, like the cult classic movie Gora. And it's highly regarded as the most popular movie from Turkey. Now, it's basically about a Turkish scam artist fellow who gets abducted by some extraterrestrials. Now, the whole movie is just making fun of Hollywood from the Turkish perspective. Finally, Turkey's
Man, that's funny. Gora? Do you think I need to watch the movie Gora? What you think? It sounds funny, man. To making just shenanigans from Hollywood? I like it.
To many festivals and celebrations. This rock festival actually got canceled this year. The district administration said it was too loud and too disturbing for the locals. But are those the real reasons? Oh, we're just never gonna know. And speaking of loud and disturbing, here's our favorite Florida man, Keith!
Did you guys miss me? I hope everybody's doing well. Let's get to it. I'm Keith. We're supposed to talk about music. Well, this is an
I said it. Now we're going to music side, and we're already 25 minutes in. As I said, at least half an hour. We are already close.
This one because, you know, they have a lot of history. I mean, who doesn't know the Ottoman Empire and, you know, woo! You'll hear lots of elements similar to Greek, Arab, Romanian, and Armenian Turkish music. I wonder why. There are three main styles of folk: the Black Sea, the West Coast, and the South Coast. All have their own different styles of folk music. On the Black Sea coast, the kemençe is played, and when they dance, there's a lot of shoulder shaking, gesture like this. In the West Coast, there's the Zeybek dance, Jumbush. I'm sorry if I just absolutely butchered that. It's like a banjo without frets.
Nee, Kumbush? Is it called Kumbush? It looks like I would call it Kumbush. How it's written?
Is played, and when they dance, there's a lot of shoulder shaking, gesture like this. In the West Coast, there's the Zeybek dance, Jumbush. I'm sorry if I just absolutely butchered that. It's like a banjo without frets. I don't know if it's tuned in fifths or not. I potentially tuned in fifths. In the South, you hear more arabesque music. It's slower and more depressing, like super depressing. People literally will commit self-harm at some of these concerts that are performed by this dude. In fact, the 80s...
Who's that? Okay, I have one question real quick, because we're going on Turkish music right now. There's a lot of Turkish rap on my channel. If you want me to go on traditional Turkish music, please write it down in the comments. This is a request from my side because right now I don't have really songs for Turkey in queue. So if you have requests for me to go on traditional Turkish music, to bring something new to the channel, this is just my idea. Just write it down in the comments. I'm eager to know about it.
Kind of like the super popular depressing era of music in Turkey. It was kind of like their goth phase. You have all these really great artists that will be listed over here. Turkey has a lot of traditional bards, like these guys.
Barden. It's in German.
Now let's get into some of the modern stuff that goes.
Like bards are something like singers, right? But maybe with I wonder what the definition is. If it's not just singer.
On in Turkey now. Anatolia rock. This is probably one of the most famous contemporary genres to have come out of Turkey. It's like a fusion of like Western rock, psychedelic, and like saz instruments. Oftentimes they're remixed with traditional Turkish songs. There's so much we could have mentioned, like Turkish pop, and there's a lot of Turkish rap and so forth. But if you have something to add,
metal would be interesting as well, I have to say. As I said, rap. We got so much wrapped up regarding rap. That was a bad one. I'm sorry.
Please add it in the comment section down below. I'd love to respond to you guys. Thank you so much to everybody that subscribed to my YouTube channel, The Keith Everett Show. It's been really great. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Keith.
So, by the way, if you want to hear metalcore / emo music in Turkish language...
Turkish emo metalcore.
Yeah, check out my musical project called As My Life Falls Apart. It's on all platforms. You can find the music everywhere.
It actually sounds kind of good. I'm surprised.
What did it say? Emo core Turkish? What is that?
My musical project called As My Life Falls Apart. It's on all platforms. You can find the music everywhere.
It actually sounds kind of good. I'm surprised. You do like all the tracks and the layers. And this kid's actually pretty good.
He does whole songs by himself? He's playing every instrument? Am I getting that right? Look, I just looked at him as a normal person. Now I've got high respect for him. Hey boy. Not bad though.
Good. Yeah, promotion for you, Ege.
Yes.
You are in this episode, so
deserved.
Well, with that, there's only one part left to this complicated nation of Turkey. Their diplomacy. Here we go.
So this should be the last point, diplomacy, right? Friend
So
zone.
as a country at the crossroads of 3 continents, Turkey is in a position where they can't really isolate, even if they tried.
There's geographically too much going on. Let's explain.
For one, Indonesia has always been a close ally dating back centuries when the Ottomans supported the people of Aceh against the Portuguese. Since the Cold War, the USA has always been involved in Turkey's diplomatic affairs, especially in concern to Soviet expansion. They joined NATO in 1952, recognized Israel in 1948. Many Turkish Jews voluntarily moved to Israel as well during Zionist movement times, and Turkey even sent troops to fight alongside the Korean War. In fact, Turkey...
So, yeah, a couple of things I knew about this. So, they're in the NATO. They're fighting together with the USA against Soviet expansion. They support Israel. I didn't know about Korea right here, and I didn't know about Indonesia. So, about there was a war with North Korea? Wait. I didn't get the point, like really.
The Soviet expansion. They joined NATO in 1952, recognized Israel in 1948. Many Turkish Jews voluntarily moved to Israel as well during Zionist movement times, and Turkey even sent troops to fight alongside the Korean War. In fact, Turkey has had close ties to South Korea dating.
That was okay. It was on screen right here. The separation between North and South Korea. Pretty sure.
Over 2,000 years when the Guk Turks teamed up and assisted the Korean Goguryeo Kingdom against the Tang Dynasty Chinese forces in conflict times. Since then, they've maintained a
I had no clue what they're talking about right here with China.
Historical alliance based on economic, cultural, and military traits all the way up to the Korean War. Today, about 460 fallen Turkish soldiers are buried in honor at the Hero Cemetery in Busan. Bosniaks from Bosnia and Herzegovina are
Busan is South Korea, and there are Turkish soldiers buried, like in honor. Because they helped in the war.
Huge fans. They are kind of like the descendants of European Muslims that converted during Ottoman times. Many have even moved to Turkey as well and started businesses and have communities. Then we get to their Central Asian cousins. Turks have a platonic love for their Central Asian cousins like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan and so on. They'll always take up the opportunity to follow up and chat. Turkmenistan is a little bit of
a... So this is about like the countries in the south of Russia who belonged to the Soviet Union before, and so they have good relation to them. That's interesting.
A different story due to their government's isolationist policies, but as people, the Turkmens and Turks are probably the closest in Central Asia because of the Oghuz tribe affiliation. Germany is their largest import and export partner, and they have the largest Turkish diaspora outside of Turkey, so there has always been a connection between them. Turks tend to have strong opinions about the Turkish diaspora in Germany, but that's a whole other story that we do not want to get into right now.
Why they're always not going into that, what is really interesting?
Type affiliation.
Hey,
Germany is their largest import and export partner, and they have the largest Turkish diaspora outside of Turkey, so there has always been a connection between them. Turks tend to have strong opinions about the Turkish diaspora in Germany, but that's a whole other story that we do not want to get into right now.
So, the opinion of Turkish people about Turks living in Germany. I at least I got that point. So, okay. Don't know about that. Never heard about it.
Right now. In regards to Cyprus, obviously we already explained in the Cyprus episode, the northern Turkish populated part is a self-proclaimed independent nation that only Turkey recognizes, so of course there is a close connection there. Turks tend to call northern Cyprus Yavru Vatan, which means little homeland. But keep in mind, Cypriot Turks don't actually really like this phrase. When it comes to their best friends, however, every Turk I've talked to has said one country, Azerbaijan. They have a phrase, one nation, two states.
Azerbaijan. I would call him a friend. I got a friend from Azerbaijan who doing subtitles for majorly Turkish rap songs, but Azerbaijani songs as well. And since I started doing Turkish reactions, we constantly writing, and he's sending me videos, and I request, and stuff is going on. So I knew about like the language is really similar in these two countries because he's from Azerbaijan, but you can translate the songs from Turkey, so it just makes sense, right?
If the Central Asian Turkic nations are cousins, then the Turks and Azerbaijanis are siblings. They have mutually intelligible dialects, they intermarry a lot, each is super welcome in each other's country. Overall, they are one blood, always have been, always will be.
All right, and in conclusion, Ege, you are the Turk. You get the honor. Speak from the heart. Go!
It's so complicated. It has a history going back millennia. Just like the land, it has blended people from the Aegean, Mediterranean, Mesopotamian, Europe, and Middle East, ancient Turkics. It's secular, but also has a Muslim undertone. The politics are always insane. There's never a quiet moment, and no matter how many crowbars you get in the face from road rage, we always dish it out over a tulip glass of tea.
I think that summarizes.
That was a summary, okay, but I don't know. The jokes didn't really get me in this one. I don't know. Maybe I'm too serious these days.
This is a great, Ege. Thank you so much for being in the Turkey episode. And stay tuned. Turkmenistan is coming up next.
Ah, Turkmenistan. All right. Not involved with Turkmenistan, but I want to give a huge shout out and thanks to Geography Now for informing the people about countries of the world and spreading information that is really, really good, because it's in English, so basically most people are understanding it, and I think it's really important to inform the people, and knowledge is power. So if someone has knowledge, this person has automatically more power. And I want to thank Geography Now for doing this all the way through. Like for so many years they're doing this. I don't know this channel for maybe half a year, maybe a little bit longer, but I think they're doing, like, they improved a lot as well. They're doing a phenomenal job. If you want to see more reactions to Turkey, please sub to the channel and hit the bell, and don't forget to hit me up on my socials, Instagram and Facebook, to follow my other content. There's another request. Maybe you want to look up my videos for Iran, and on Instagram as well I got videos and posts about Iran. They having huge problems right now. There are huge protests going on. If you would share a couple of these videos and stories and posts, I would be very glad, because it's bothering me a lot these days. All right, we got that wrapped up. I got a new music video that came out today, so not today when I'm uploading this, but today when I'm recording this, so probably 3 or 4 days ago. You can watch it right here on screen, and I will be very glad if you click it and see what I do for music these days. And right above you can find my reaction on Turkish rap, my latest one. Maybe that's interesting for you. I wish you the very best. Stay healthy, stay well, and farewell.